What is it to really have something? Where you hold or even own something, control something currently in possession that's retained according to your discretion. I imagine it would gain your full protection, and its value wouldn't be something you lessen. That is, unless in fact you acquired it legit, instead of being the recipient of a crime that was committed. Because in that case, you might break it down, altering it for places to be hidden, or rather distribute to transmit these hot goods like a chop shop to stay innocent and guiltless. I mean, you didn't steal it, so why be penitent? Sound familiar? If not, check the backgrounds of many immigrants who never stepped on a slave ship but were so instrument in breaking down and altering my stolen ancestors oftentimes, to hide them in fields or wherever they felt so inclined, or rather distributed them across so many different lines, be it state lines, family ties, or moral barometer signs, without crime, legally, though they stayed conflated, with the process of keeping us all segregated, to ensure their hefty pockets remain inflated and their status of power was something no one played with. So the foundational pavement they laid was this: let's make colored folk believe they were created amiss, in error, inhumane, beastly, something God would miss, closer to lifeless, to be dismissed and thrown in an abyss, since they're filled with emptiness. So hey, why not? Because if they were like us, they couldn't be sold or bought. If their brains were like ours, their image couldn't be cropped. If our hearts were the same, their will couldn't be stopped. So they lessened my descendants to a fraction of a person as rationale for the treatment that consistently worsened towards the slaves they viewed as commodities for dispersion. The men we overburden, the women gain our insertion, just property to be made mockery of, used and abused, then bestowed to the next generation, becoming infused in society, perpetuating an ideology like something transfused, like they inherited the authority to choose who gets misused. And unfortunately, that thinking still continues to this day, where persons of color are often stigmatized, second-rate, or worse, placing us in situations where we're forced to debate our worth or whether we even matter. It's a chronic headache with no painkillers that we can take to simply stop this corruption. Awaking daily to fight the gravity caused by the strong suction of these incessant attempts intended to pull us in the direction of vast darkness and imminent destruction. A black hole, a force prone to make us partial, not intact. But trust, we're whole people. So flip that, whole black, meaning fully that. As our melanin naturally drips like tree sap from the deep roots none can excavate because they can't ship us back. See, slaves were kidnapped to be the production plants for industry, but in turn became the true plants that would grow to eventually overcome their surroundings, fighting through pain and misery, like the seeds they had to plant that sprouted consistently, daily rising and budding beautifully out of a dirty situation. You think they'd witness that and then not have their own transformation? That's why freedom could never be purged from their imagination, being surrounded every day by croplands of emancipation, harvest without limitation, collected by enslaved people, is a paradox of existence, since life is indeed freedom's easel, holding a canvas of art in motion, using a God-given equal right to brushstroke as we please, and the contrary's upheaval. So please let no one deceive you, be it off the past or the present. African Americans aren't part human, nor are we acquiescent to the unpleasant notion that we as a group should be depressant. How you really gonna stop our shine when we were made luminescent and effervescent as lights blazing with only God as our master? Because whoever else takes that role is recipe for disaster. No one says whether we'll do whatever like our forecaster. The very thought that anyone could is subject for laughter. These actors tried positioning themselves in order to have us say, "You complete me," like that movie with Tom, but nah. Not today, not tomorrow, nor any date I can convey. We won't downplay who we are to be someone you thought you could allocate. My lineage shaped a whole me, a fully secure in this home me, And there's no tolerance for anyone faking like they're a homie, down for the cause, but only instead just trying to hold me down to prop themselves up, play me for a fool, or hold me out to a system prone to screw my people, leaving us holy, choosing to be blind to the fact that anything with life is holy. So no, we won't settle for the okey doke that's used to solely cut down individuals of a made-up race to make them run slowly. Surprisingly, the sin wasn't only in them killing my people, it's also in the lie that was spread saying we're beneath you, who you could have then leave as collateral damage without retrieval, as the ones you hold for your advantage plus own treating evil, under your deceitful heartless control, possessed only by blight, and retained enchained, not obliging the same human rights. But those theories are so untrue because we have power inside, hold exceptional value, and own every single ounce of our pride. We control the flow of our energy, possessing greatness unlimited, while retaining the utmost of respect, having mixed all love into it. So what's preeminent is that you never look at any person pigmented with the sentiment that they'll compromise for 3/5 their embodiment when they're infinite. Like every human walking this earth, what should be obvious and unmistakable is our priceless worth. But what's evident is you can't give what you don't have or what's in you inert, nor can you believe or act out what you can't envision first. So to those who are the worst, dealing mistreatment and stifling liberty, you are what you sow, shackled by woe, enslaved in your bigotry, hiding in your unchanged history, viewing our triumph bitterly. Because if you were truly free yourself, you teach the whole truth explicitly. Don't be scared we'll retaliate. We had to learn love will defeat the chains of hatred. But in your ignorance, you stay incomplete.